All right, we are live. So right now, just I'm gonna kind of wait. I see people waiting in the waiting room actually. So there's like a waiting room on now. Okay, now people are coming on. I can see. All right, we are live. Sorry, you're forgiven. All right, cool. So let's see. So this says one waiting for some reason. Maybe if I refresh.
I am in the chat, so it's live.
Oh, okay. Cool. Actually, yeah, just want to make sure we're monitoring the chat as well. All right, so awesome. Welcome, everybody. So if you're watching this replay right now, today's actually going to be an awesome day. We actually brought somebody on, Kurtis. Well, I'll introduce you to Kurtis in a little bit. But first off, just welcome, everybody. Tanner, Dan here again, and this time we've decided to bring on Kurtis, like I mentioned before. So Kurtis, if you can kind of, talk about what you're doing, just so everybody gets a feeling for you. One thing that I really like to do is to kind of introduce you to everybody, and you're going to introduce yourself actually, because of the fact that I want people to kind of, feel that they're one-to-one with you. You're definitely not, above anybody's level. Neither am I, neither is Tanner. We're all here, talking to everybody, very open. So any questions, comments, concerns anybody has, they can ask it, and we'll, to the best of our knowledge, go out there and answer it. So again, Kurtis, I'll let you take it away in regards to your story, and just so everyone gets familiar with you.
Yep. So basically, well, my name's Kurtis White. I was probably within the first 100 people in Tanner's course. I bought it back in, I think it was April, maybe even before then, whenever it came out. And I was a little skeptical at first, as a lot of people are. But this is one thing that I learned pretty quickly, that it's not skeptical. You're not giving your money to anybody else. It's like the work you're putting in, it's all you. So I went in full swing. At that time, I had a full-time job, and I was kind of balancing at the same time. It took me about 50, 60 hours to find my first product. And, the scary thing is, once you do find it, the money you got to put in to, get it going. But once I got it going, within 3 weeks when it came up, I made $3,000 profit. And should I just go with the whole story, or?
Yeah, good. Just go with anything you are willing to share, as far as you're willing to share. Because obviously, if you don't want to share, certain aspects. I mean, again, I don't ever recommend sharing products and everything like that. But if you want to, that's on you. But I don't recommend it. So.
All right, I'll keep going. So my first 3 weeks, I made $3,000 profit, and I was on cloud 9. That was more than I ever thought I was going to make doing this. And actually, I had an interview with Tanner, and literally like days after that, I ran out of inventory, and I got suspended. And I was like, whoa, there goes everything. But to give some people a little more information of how much money it took me to start, it took me about $1,800 to start. I got 480 units, cost me about $1,800, and then from that, I made $3,000 profit. So after the first 3 weeks, made that money, got suspended, and I was losing my mind. I reached out to Tanner. He actually said he went through a similar process. So that comforted me a little bit, except it took me 27 days to get reinstated. And I actually think that's a process. I've already actually helped out one person with that process. And looking back at it now, I am glad that I went through that. And if you are going through that process, please reach out. I'm happy to help. Because I looked at services, and you can pay an arm and a leg to have somebody help you get reinstated. And that's just obviously the money we don't want to spend. So after 27 days, I got reinstated, had to create a new listing and start from scratch. At this time, that was around July. So I got my product up July 1st, and my sales were completely different. So I was a little scared. I was selling 1, 2, 3 units a day maybe. And step back, I ordered 912 units right as I got suspended. So as soon as my 912 units came in, they were just sitting there in my old listing. So anyway, created a whole new listing, had them transferred over. And luckily, they slapped on a new barcode for me, and they transferred them over. got them up in July and selling 2-3 units a day. I thought I was going to have to get rid of the product. I remembered it was the 4th of July. As soon as it was about July 10th, I started really selling. I had, 10 units a day, then 15. And luckily from my success on my first product, I had a successful automatic campaign. I did that. I ran that for 2 weeks. Took all my, the ACOS numbers with the percentage. Luckily I was profiting through my automatic campaign. And from that, I went to a manual, had a successful campaign. So when I actually started from scratch, I was able to use my manual campaign over. I didn't really have to completely start from scratch. But after the 4th of July, I ended up, for the month of April, I made $4,300 for the month of July. And then for the first 6 days in August, I made $1,300. And I ran out of inventory, and my products are now getting there today.
Sounds like a long journey. That's funny. That's like the exact same thing I went through. First product, selling well for about a month. I get banned for some stupid reason where my listing gets gone. Takes me a month to get back, and then same thing, and it comes back even stronger than it was before.
Yeah. So, now I'm at the point where I was making 150 to 250 a day, and then there was, a couple days I made like 325. And at the end of when I was running out of inventory, I was on page 1 and I actually shut off my ads. So all my sales were organic, and I was getting anywhere from 20 to 25 sales, but I was making more during that time than I was when I was running my PPC.
Yeah, and for those of you that were asking what the campaign was, that's Amazon's way of advertising. So you bid on certain keywords and you get ranked either on page 1, page 2, depending on your bid on certain keywords. So that's kind of the campaign he was doing. There's an automatic campaign and a manual. So automatic, Amazon chooses the keywords for you. Manual, you choose your own and set the bids and whatnot.
I actually have a question for you, Kurtis. Because a lot of people are going to wonder this as well. What are factors that lead to suspensions? More so anything that you learned. Can you give us, kind of insider, I wouldn't really call it insider, but a few tips to keep everyone from being not suspended for their first product? Because obviously that probably, look, if you weren't who you were, I could only imagine, like with the mindset that you have, I could only imagine you would have just given up. You would have said, all right, screw it. I lost $2,000 time. Let's just go do, let's just go do CPA now or whatever it is. So if you didn't have that mindset and you were suspended, you would have moved right on. But you were like, no, it's just a temporary suspension. And I'm going to, after it's done, I'm going to go ahead and get right back into it. And that's what you did. So what caused a suspension, if you can share, and how to prevent a suspension?
So at first, and I'm not sure, I honestly believe this is something that Amazon might do to FBA sellers. I don't know if this is something new. Tanner, you could probably say from experience. But I feel like with every new listing I had, I've almost had an inauthentic complaint, which has caused my suspension. And I think what Amazon is looking for when they do that is proof that your products are actually legit. So the reason why it took me so long to get reinstated for that month, my supplier actually didn't supply me with professional invoices. So I was selling like Excel sheets that I could edit, and that was just, not acceptable. I had to send like a good looking plan of action, which I have like a format for anyone that wants it. And like I had to tell my supplier I literally sent him a picture of saying, hey, make me an invoice that looks like this. And he did that. So I got suspended because of my inauthentic complaint. And so I sent all that in, plan of action with the invoices, multiple times, probably 20 emails it took me. And then actually got suspended again for trademark infringement. And then they told me they sent me, right? I looked up this dude's name and he was a lawyer in New York. And I was like, what is going on right now? I was scared. So I was like, what do I have to lose? I called the lawyer's office and I was like, let me speak to this guy. He wouldn't speak to me, but I got his front desk. They had no idea, about any trademark infringement that I had, which I was actually doing. But they had no recollection of the complaint. So I told that to Amazon, and I was reinstated right away. I fixed my listing, and I took out that word, which is what I kind of want to say is there's a lot of words that I actually didn't realize are actually trademarked. So that's something you can easily look up on SPT or something, just like a trademark website. I forget what it's called. That you can easily see what's trademarked or not. But I recommend making sure, like, literally go into whatever product it is, whatever word is the key word, check if that has a trademark, and check for the patents, because you won't be able to survive without checking that. Don't even test the waters.
That's funny. Mine were similar. I did have a trademark one, and it was just a random, whatever the main keyword was for it. I was like, what? And then that was fun to deal with for about a month, and that's when my listing got done. And then I had one where I copied someone's pictures and had my listing taken down because of intellectual property rights. Now, I know we're bombarding everyone with the negatives. Guys, if you do your research and know what you're doing, this doesn't happen.
But here's the thing, nobody talks about the negatives, okay?
Yeah.
Like you guys, here's the thing, you guys have Amazon as a little boundary. I mean, Tanner knows this, is that I didn't have Amazon or anybody as like the middleman that could get in trouble as well. I can get in trouble if I listed, a product on my store, which I did actually. I got in a lot of trouble. I actually got sued for $150,000, and I lost that. And here's the thing, it wasn't even a product, it was an image. And it wasn't even an image of a product. It was just an image of some girl sitting on a wall. It was a copyrighted image, and I lost $150,000 because of that. And it was insane how he even won that. But it was some guy who goes out there and he literally just puts pictures out there. It gets a copyright on them and hopes that big companies use them. Like he was suing Mashable, Porsche of North America, and I was just like, you're just a sue happy guy. I was like, that's your business model. Congratulations. So when it comes down to it, I've never heard of that extent on Amazon, of somebody being sued like that on Amazon. Never once heard that type of extent. But then again, I think because when people look at it, it's not just like an individual store. Like for example, my Shopify store is my store. It's not like a big brand. When you have like Amazon behind you, think about it as like a little chihuahua, and then you see just a really big bear right behind it. Like you're not gonna mess with that chihuahua, even though there's a bear right behind it. It's kind of like what Amazon is with sellers. You guys have, Amazon's very strict for a reason, but then again, you guys have a massive, and Amazon just comes with a massive army behind them as well. Nobody's going to mess with them. So that's a really good point as well. And Tanner even said you don't have to focus on the negatives, but I think a lot of people don't look at the negatives enough and see the negatives and don't talk about it. And then when they encounter it, they don't know what to do with it, and then they get scared, frustrated, annoyed. They stop what they're doing. So us talking about the negatives is actually, a good thing for anybody who's serious about building out their business. So that's something that's really good to talk about. Now, so you talked about the first thing, Kurtis. Now, the second thing that I want to retouch on is starting capital, okay? Now, when it comes down, I'm going to give my side, since, I focus a lot on drop shipping, and I really want to talk about my side first. I've talked about this over and over again. When it comes to drop shipping, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, you don't need that much capital, okay? Well, here's the thing when it comes to drop shipping. You're right. You don't need that much capital. However, let's just say you start off with $50, 30 of that will go to a platform like Shopify. Now, if you want to do a standalone, you have WooCommerce, your hosting will probably be $10. So either you have 20 or 40 bucks left over. Now, that money, you got to take it and hope that you have a good product. Okay, I got to hope that you have a good product, but you have to hope even more that the targeting is just as good. Because if you go out there and you have $40 to spend, let's say you're spending $10 a day, 4 days, right? You have 4 days to make a sale, or to recoup that 40, turn that 40 into something more. So when it comes down to it, yes, the drop shipping side can technically require a lower buy-in, as I'd call it. However, you don't have Amazon is a platform that you can go onto and tap into right away. So, let's just say you get into a category, 20 people have products, 19 of them run out, and it just so happens you're like the 25th product in line, right? On like the 25th one. You're most likely going to be bumped up if they don't refill or send Amazon more products. So I'm not saying that's what happens every single time, but what I'm saying is you can't have that happen with your own store. It's not like you're just going to be bumped right up, or you're going to move up in your own algorithm in your own store, because that's not how it works. Your own store is very dependent on you. Now, when it comes down to it, you do have, and this is why have fallen in love with Amazon recently is because you have a lot of wiggle room with Amazon. You have literally 33% of all buyers online, 100 million plus Prime members that are willing to buy your stuff, that are literally paying for Prime at that point. And they can buy what you have. Look, if anybody here in the chat has 100 million plus members on your e-com store, hit me up. All right, hit me up, because I mean, at this point, we could do some pretty big things. But I want you to go, and Kurtis and Tanner, you guys can talk about starting capital as well, because my side of it, to kind of give everything I was saying in a nutshell, yeah, you can start off with 100, 200 bucks on the drop shipping side. But here's the thing. You have to hope after you spend money on getting your store created, making sure you're using the right graphics, etc., you need to go out there and make sure that you're actually advertising correctly and getting your product in front of the right people, which, again, isn't as easy as letting Amazon do it for you. All right? So I'll let you guys talk about the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, let me go real quick. So for Amazon, I normally recommend about $1,000 to begin. Now, most of that is your first order. That's the majority of what you'll be spending your money on. Now, I know Kurtis said he did 1,800. Now, the more you have, the more opportunity you have. You can do more expensive products, because with Amazon, the reason the capital is a little bit higher is that you need to hold a certain amount of inventory, because as Kurtis was saying, running out of inventory, your rank starts to drop again. That's what's dependent for Amazon's ranking algorithm. That's the main factor. So if we order 100 units and we start selling 10 a day and we run out, we now got ranked and then went all the way down. And when we're out, we let other people come in ahead of us, and sometimes it's hard to get back. So the last thing we want to do is run out of inventory. So yes, you can start with lower amounts. I've had someone say they start with 580, I think is the lowest amount. They were like 200 units. But I'm going to assume Kurtis's product was a little bit more expensive, but he did have a higher profit margin. So Kurtis, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so at first I did start with 1,800, and but I did start with 480 units. At first I was gonna start with 250, but I was like, you know what? For an extra 200 units or so, it gives me a little bit more wiggle room, because it took about, I think it was like 20, 25 days for my units to be manufactured and shipped over to Amazon. So I was like, if this starts to sell well, I'm going to run out, and I don't want to run out. So I figured 480 units was I'll be able to tell if I'm going to sell well, I'll be able to reorder in time and not run out of inventory. But I actually sold a little faster than I was expecting. I still ran out of inventory. But I think buying, if you have the money, I would buy more than 300 units because of that reason. And I think it's almost harder because Amazon doesn't pay you right away. It takes 2 weeks. I think right when you start selling, I don't think they pay you for 4 weeks on your first listing. But so if you do start to sell well within that first month, you're not even going to get paid in time if that was all your money invested in the first order. So that's what's tough. And luckily, I had to borrow money from my parents to reinvest in another order. But that's one thing I'd say look out for.
Yeah, cash flow is always a massive thing in any business at that point.
Yeah,
cash flow is huge. Now there's tons of ways to combat cash flow. You could credit cards are obviously one way, opening up new lines of credit. You have PayPal working capital. That's if you have stuff. If you have money in PayPal, you can actually go to PayPal and be like, hey, look, I want to go ahead and take out a working capital loan. They're gonna say, what is it for? And they don't run credit or anything, so they give you that money and they take a percentage of each sale. So obviously you're not getting paid through PayPal. So
Amazon has their own too.
Do they?
Payability, you can get paid every single day. Now, I don't do this. It's 5% they take. But if you need the money and you want to get out for that next order and your opportunity cost is more than that, then by all means, I'd do that.
5%?
5.
My
it might have changed, but yeah. Dude, 5% you get paid every day instead of every 2 weeks.
That's more than banks and PayPal combined. Literally. If you went to a bank and PayPal, you would not hit that 5% interest rate of 5% or a fee of 5% at that point. My goodness. Cool.
Someone's asking about ads. So how much for ads did you spend, Kurtis? What did it look like? So let's say kind of what was your daily budget? And then I assume your ads were profitable. So how much did you spend and how much did that yield you?
So I'll go way back to the beginning when I first started my product. And I started an automatic campaign, and actually I messed up. I thought I was running it. Meanwhile, my ad was off. So make sure that green light is on when you're running your automatic campaign. So when I first started, I believe I started at $15 a day, automatic campaign, and I quickly learned. I left it overnight, and I woke up, and my ad spend was gone. With like, I don't know if I had any sales, but I had a bunch of clicks and a lot of window shoppers. So I quickly learned that I want to turn my ads on, during the prime time of when buyers are going to come on. So I turned it on around like 6 p.m. Eastern time, and I let it run. And I actually ran out of, $20 a day. I would run out from 6 p.m. to about 11 p.m. And I was actually getting good sales. From the day I started automatic PPC, I didn't sell less than 10 units a day, and I was profiting every single day. So the more I profited, and the more I ranked up the rankings, I increased my ad spend. So I went from 20 to 25 to 45 to 60, and then I turned my ads on longer and longer through the day. And at that time, my sales got longer and longer, more and more each day. After 2 weeks, I switched it over to manual, and I basically let the manual run 24/7. And at that point, I was up to $100, $120 a day, but I wouldn't spend that. I would spend about $80 a day at that point, and I was making about $150 to $200.
And that's not out of pocket. That comes out of what you're paid in the 2 weeks, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So, and then what else? At this point, when I had to, I started over. I created a new listing. I went to a manual campaign, and actually it was a lot cheaper. I'm not really sure why, but I was spending about anywhere from 40 to 60 a day, and kind of like I said in the beginning, I was making about 200 plus a day, up to 300 plus.
Now, there's some people, I don't know how much you can share on this because we don't want to give away too much, but a lot of people are asking, how do you find a product? How do you test the product? So with Amazon, you don't test the product really. Your first order is the test, but there's so many tools where you can analyze numbers in different small product markets where you really know a lot before. So it's just minimizing that risk there.
So what I did to find mine was actually pretty much exactly what you said in the course. And I know those numbers, that the criteria that you gave a little bit on the Jungle Scout, those might be kind of like beat the shit right now. So everyone is kind of using those. So now everyone has to kind of, play with the numbers a little bit more. You don't want to use all of the same numbers that everyone is kind of getting at this point. So maybe lower the price, but if you lower the price to like maybe $14, maybe look for 600 units being sold in a month instead of 300. Don't be stuck at trying to find a product that's going to make you $12 a day. Mine makes me about $9, a little more, sometimes less, depending on my supplier charging me hidden fees. But
so I just read something in the chat box, and I really have to just go out there, and because it's kind of clawing at me, between William and Matt. So Matt asks, how would you test a product? You don't buy 300 units knowing it could be a risk, do you? Now, before you guys answer this, I want to go ahead and just keep going with this. William
just
said,
so you know, before you go, William's in the course and selling very well.
So William goes ahead and says, yeah, you do, Matt, basically telling them, hey, look, it's just something. So he goes on to say, you buy inventory, send it all to Amazon, and hope. Let me ask you this, William, okay? Let's step away from the internet. You go and buy real estate, right? What do you do with that real estate? Are you just going to buy it and hope it works? No. You go and you do your research. Same thing as Amazon. You go and start a franchise. Are you going to start a franchise in the middle of a river? No. You do your research before you go and start a franchise. I don't care what business you are in. Everything is a risk unless you do your research, okay? It does not matter what business you are in. It all boils back down to the research. So hope comes with anything you do. Anything you do. I want to set that straight from the get-go. If you think Shopify is a set route to go out there and make a massive amount of money, you're wrong. If you think Amazon is the way to go out there and make a massive amount of money, you're wrong. If you think real estate is, you're wrong. Again, it's all about doing your research to figure out pretty much how to make things work for you. Can you make a lot of money in all of them? Yes, you can. You can become a multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire doing all those things, but you won't ever get there. And, you know, kind of be like, you know, I hope this will work. Well, you'll never know until you try, right? So that's kind of one thing. And that's really a mindset thing that I see. And Tanner, we were talking about this the other day. You know, people need to understand that it is a business, okay? No matter what you're doing, whether or not you're starting a Shopify store, you're going out there and sending products to Amazon, it's a business, okay? You have to do your research and you have to expect some type of cost up front. So that's kind of where I wanted to go ahead and kind of end that off. Let's see here.
I agree. I need you to just walk by me for when people say things like that to me so you can just tell them.
Yeah. I just want to start yelling at people because it literally grinds my gears because, yeah, no, exactly. You know what, William, you're right. It's calculated risk. That is literally it. It is calculated risk. So, I mean, let's see. So you seem mad because I said hope. You do hope. It's all calculated risk. Yeah, everything's a risk. If I get in my car, it's a risk. If I crash, it's a risk that I take, right? If I walk on a sidewalk right next to a highway, I'm risking my life. Everything is a risk, okay? It's just how you look at it. When it comes down to business, people seem to run away from that, and I don't know why. So thanks a bunch. Yeah, minimize risk and take massive action. Again, I kind of want to just end off my little rant on this, is that you can't avoid, what people call hope, right? You can't avoid that or kind of calculated risk. What you can avoid is super high risk by going out there and doing research, okay? So again, if you want to dive into Amazon, you're not just going to go like this. You're not going to throw something at your computer, like throw a penny at your computer, hits a product on your screen and say, I'm choosing that one. That's not how you do it, right? Now, if it was, I think everybody here in this chat would be multimillionaires at this point. So again, it all comes back down to doing your research. At the end of it all, it's all about doing the research. I don't care what business you are in. It is about the research, the fundamentals. Everybody can do research. It's if you want to go and how much research you do that will determine where you end up, right? So I kind of, yeah, I'll end it off there. Yes. All right, let's see. Oh man, my analogies are awesome. All right, no one can ever doubt that.
Hey, someone wants to know if we do these live streams often. We got a schedule now, right?
We do have a schedule now, but our schedule doesn't start until next week, actually. So
okay, we don't have a schedule yet. Yes, we're doing them at least every week.
Schedule. It doesn't start till next week, though. So we just kind of do this one out there
every week. Watch out, turn the notifications on. You'll know.
Yeah, actually, great. Yeah, turn your notifications on. So be here live. Now, back to Kurtis. Let's just go out there and kind of end it off right here. Kurtis, what are the type of profit margins that you're looking at? Give me percentage-wise, because again, revenue's cool, but let's talk profit as well, and then let's talk about, is your time for profit worth it to you? Yes or no in the FBA business?
So yeah, honestly, I know we've kind of talked about a lot of negative stuff that's happened through my journey. But I don't want to, pass over all the positive things too. It's like I look at my board and I've made, from starting in, May, so probably about 2 months of selling, I've made over $8,000 profit just from selling. And it's like, I'm not really, I put in a lot of work just to make sure I'm staying up and active. But when it's up and active, I'm making money just literally sitting here refreshing the app on my phone. Right now I am making, $9.11 per unit that I sell. And I'm actually I actually got a second product ready to go and I paid for it today. So I have a second product coming in, that I'm really excited about. That one is roughly anywhere from $7.22 to like $9.22, depending on where I can fall selling it. But it is definitely worth it when I'm just sitting here making money. It's like all the work that you put in before it, yeah, it can be a lot, and you can spend hours and hours, maybe weeks, months, whatever, setting up just one product. But if that one product gives you, a few thousand extra a month, that's what you're working for, and it is possible.
Right, exactly, and it all just in the end of it all, and this is what I found out when I first got started with the e-commerce business, is that I don't need, thousands of products. I need like anywhere from 8 to 11 products, perhaps doing $1,000 to $2,000 a day to live so freaking comfortably. And that's revenue if a profit margin is like 30 to 40%. At that point, maybe anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 profit a day. That is phenomenal. So people like to go out there and strive for, brands, and whether or not it's, a bunch of products, 100 products or whatnot, they like to go out there and keep on loading it up. Now you just have to find those products that are, they are home runs, but they're not. I'm not talking they're doing 1,000 units a day. You can literally survive off of 20 to 30 units a day. So again, when you're going out there and setting up a business like this, or any business as well, people try to go for the volume game, and the volume game is definitely a lot harder than trying to work for slow and steady. Because again, slow and steady does win the race. So Kurtis, I'm happy that you said the time you put in is definitely worth the money that you get out. Because for you, I could only imagine, just like me and Tanner, we do a lot of things throughout our lives now. It's not like we're sitting here focused on our computers 24/7 anymore. We're going out there and we're living our lives. But here's the thing, we're still getting paid to do that. Essentially, we're getting paid to live life on our terms. And in the end, whether or not you buy courses or anything, in the end, that's what we all want, right? And we know that. All three of us, Kurtis, myself, and Tanner, we're all sitting here showing you what to do, because we all know it's a lot deeper than just making money. Yes, you want to make money, but why do you want to make money? It's because you want to, you want to live life the way you want to live it, or you want to go out there and start different ventures. There's always a reason as to why you're going out there and trying to start a business and trying to make more money. It's not just because, hey, I want money to throw it at somebody. It's not how it works. So again, when it comes down to it, Kurtis, I don't know your exact reason. I don't know if you just want to live the laptop lifestyle, or you want to scale into new businesses, but you're definitely on the right road where you're just keep adding more into your asset columns. And one of my mentors told me this once. He was like, you have two types of columns in your life. You have liabilities and you have assets, obviously. He's like, the more assets you have, the wealthier you become. And he's like, whether or not that's, a bunch of e-commerce products, whether that's sending a bunch of products to Amazon, having it sell them to you, list building with CPA. And Tanner, you do a great job of this as well, is that you diversify. I see, with your courses, and you actually doing affiliate marketing, you actually doing CPA, you're doing list building, you're doing Amazon. You just don't have this is my income and that's it. If somebody were to pull this, if somebody were to go out there and pull this, I'm done. No, you diversify. But one thing leads to another. And that really is the key here, because again, you wouldn't have the course stream if you weren't actually doing it. So, and if you were doing it and not making money, that would just be the very first stream that you had, trying to build that up.
So I have 7 streams of income, and all of them, minus YouTube, but it's getting close how much I make off YouTube, cover all my expenses. So I have 7 different ones that cover all my living expenses.
Yeah.
Pretty low, but still. And then there is one question I want to address that I got a couple of times from a few different people here, is what happens if you choose a bad product, it gets there. Now, if you do your research and you get a bad product, it's not just going to get 0 sales. No product just gets 0 sales and sits there if you do the research and know a little bit on what you're doing. Usually, worst case is you get, let's say you're getting 1 sale a day and you're at 250 units. Okay, it's going to take you 9 months to sell out. You could sit on it if you want to and just wait it out. You can lower your price. There's other tactics. One thing I had to do once is I sent some units back. It's 50 cents a unit to send yourself back. So let's say I sent 200. I lost $100 there, and then I sold them on eBay, and I ended up making $300 profit off my total order after about 3 months. So worst case is normally you're sitting on a product for maybe 3 or 4 months and it's selling slow. I've never really had someone say, hey, I haven't sold any of my units. It's never like I put 2,000 in, I lost 2,000 because I chose a bad product. It's I put 2,000 in, and I had the opportunity cost that I lost of not being able to use that money for 3 to 4 months while I have to wait for it to slowly sell out.
Yep. And there are liquidation companies that'll buy.
Yeah. Amazon has one for that. There's liquidation ones. You can sell them on eBay. That's what I did because I wanted to make all the money back. I didn't want to lose the little margin with liquidation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at that point, if you didn't want to lose money, you don't liquidate it.
If I did it now, I'd liquidate, but I would fulfill all the orders on eBay. It took me 3-4 hours a day, but I was getting more money back.
Right. You would
when I started
or break even rather than a loss compared to liquidation. All right. Cool. So, I mean, that's pretty much all. I think we're going to go ahead and open up to, I'd say, at least 3 to 4 questions. Everybody right now, shoot a like on this video just to say thank you to Kurtis for coming out here and being with us as well. Again, Kurtis, I'm very thankful that you can make it out here. And again, everybody else, shoot a like if you like this video. You want more videos like this, interviews, that'd be fantastic. So Tanner and I can really have a schedule in place. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is open up more questions that, you know, if you guys want to know firsthand from somebody doing Amazon, you have Tanner and you have Kurtis now. So just kind of go out there and ask away. So I'll let you guys pick questions from the question.
Right. Let's see. So someone says, what's the most important thing inside e-commerce? Product, customer service, or marketing? Now it's going to vary on platform. For Amazon, it's the product. But with drop shipping, it's marketing 100%, right?
It's definitely marketing 100% with your own like Shopify store or whatnot. But here's the thing. I mean, the backbone really, marketing. See. Here's the thing. When it comes down to marketing, and I might just be unbiased because I'm really good at that. I like to toot my own horn. I'm really good at when it comes down to Shopify here. I know what I'm doing. The hardest part is for customer retention, which falls back to the customer support. So if you're doing thousands of orders every month, you can't please everybody. It's impossible. You can't please everyone. But to get those customers, you need to focus on marketing. So I mean, it's a double-sided sword.
Yeah,
that's kind of that's my take.
Someone says, what are the prime times to run PPC? A lot of people will shut theirs off at night. It does vary on certain products. Early mornings usually are pretty slow, and late nights, so middle of the day, but I just leave mine on 24/7, to be honest. It's too much work to do all that, and I didn't see a difference when I did it. I just lost some sales from doing it. And let's see.
So really quickly for the drop shipping side of things, or just the Shopify running Facebook ads. If you're running Facebook ads to your Amazon product as well, I'm just giving you Facebook over here. The worst day to run your ads is a Tuesday. Is a Tuesday, 100%. And you know, I started to notice this trend for my ads where it would have such high impressions. Tuesday came around, it would just take like a 50 to 70% dip, and then it would go right back up. And I started asking around, some of my mentors and whatnot. And my mentor asked one of his friends who owns an agency, and their agency does like progressive and whatnot. So they have around $300 million every single year that they manage in ad spend. And they say, yeah, every Tuesday we cut the ads. And I was like, why? He's like, because for some reason, the price gets jacked. I don't know exactly why, but Facebook, the cost for the impressions goes skyrocket on a Tuesday. I think it's maybe everyone's getting back into the swing of things on a Monday, and then they really focus on optimization for their top converting campaigns on a Tuesday. Look, I don't have an exact reason as to why they do it. I wish they did. But I can tell you Tuesdays is a rough spot when it comes to Facebook ads. Do I shut mine off? No, I kind of ride the wave. Because if you shut it off, you run the risk of, you know, having to get your ads readjusted. So it's a double-sided sword yet again. All right.
What drives us every day to get better? For me, I'm not where I want to be yet. So it's that, and it's almost like a game. Like my whole thing, no matter what it is growth. And just beating my last high score, whether it's money's now like a game a little bit, whether it's like going to the gym, it's all about progress. So for me, it's like a game now.
So Kurtis, I'll let you answer now. You haven't talked in a minute.
I mean, I quit my job actually. So
wow, that's important. So we could have started off with that.
Yeah, actually, Amazon allowed me to quit my job. So kind of, Tanner, obviously, I know I'm older than you, but I almost try to, you know, I look at you and I almost want to, like, I kind of look up to you. So it's like, I model, you know, what I want to do basically off of you. And it's like, I want multiple streams of income, and I'm working for now the lifestyle that I want to live, and I'm getting a taste of it. And I find that I am never satisfied. So it's like, yeah, I have my Amazon going. I want to add another product. I want to start affiliate marketing. Like I want to start, you know, diversifying my streams of income, and I'm getting a taste of it, and I'm working, you know, day in and day out, to to continue this lifestyle. But I'm almost working harder than I am. I'm almost working harder now than I was when I had a job. But it's like, it's the hours that I'm doing it on my own. I have nobody to answer to. You know, all the work that I put in, I receive from the money that I get. And that's what I love about this. And it's like, if there is a day that I don't have to work, I leave and I'm still getting paid. And I'm doing whatever I want. So
that is awesome. That's like the most ideal answer that anybody can ever hear. Which again, it's not scripted, I promise. It's like the most not scripted thing ever. So I mean, that's all. First off, congrats on quitting your job. But again, it's what the business allows you to do. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give you mine in case anybody really cared. But I have one of two things. Okay, first thing is first. My favorite game of all time, like I love it. I can sit here for hours playing it. Is the game of Monopoly, and I have lived my life around thinking that life is a big game of Monopoly. Now, I'm not doing the whole real estate thing. Rather, I'm doing it with companies. So that's why you see, e-com dudes try funnels, and you see me just keep building out more companies because, the more times people come inside, I just keep getting more and more. So if you land on a space and I own that property, I'm getting paid. You come to my company, you'll see it. You watch a video of mine, whatever you do, right? If you're in the e-commerce space, you've heard of Dan DeSilva before. So I kind of look at it as if you've seen my face somewhere down the line, I will get you to buy. So yeah, right over here, the Dan analogy. So I look at my life as a big game of Monopoly, and I keep acquiring. I've acquired multiple companies before, brought them under, for example, Shopometrics was formerly Revenue Advisor. I acquired them, got the customers there, and I brought it into, to my assets. So I just keep on building and building. And, the thing is, a lot of people say, well, dang, what do you work, like an hour, 2 hours a day? Actually, there was a time from April all the way to about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I stopped working in general. I just was like, you know what? I'm taking a break. I'm done. I burned myself out. And here's the thing, my money never stopped, okay? I was still doing 6-figure months, and it was still going and going and going. Coming from literally January, where I opened up with $1 million month, a literal $1 million month. And I worked so hard. I was doing 18-hour days, and I went ahead, and once March came around, the end of March, I was like, all right, I was like, ooh, I need a breather. Summer's coming around. I want to just, enjoy. So that's kind of what I did. But now I'm back at it where I'm doing anywhere from 14 to 18-hour days. But here's the thing. It doesn't feel like that. It does not feel like that because I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. I will sit here for literally 3 days on end. Give me some Red Bull. I will not eat Chipotle, Tanner. I just won't do it. But give me some Red Bull.
Monster, not Red Bull.
What happened?
Monster, not Red Bull. Come on.
No, I'll do Red Bull because they have flavors now. But I'll do Red Bull. Okay, I will drink a green Monster. So what is that? What is that?
White Monster.
That's actually from Tanner.
Oh, is it? Yeah, all right, I figured. But essentially, when I have something in my mind, when I say I want to do this, there's nothing in this world. And that was actually my downfall growing up, is that there's nothing in this world that can stop me from attaining what I want. When I was in high school, and some people know just how bad I was. I was doing some pretty dang illegal shit. So when I actually wanted something, I was like, wait a minute, I really want. It was because I wanted a watch. It was like a $2,000 watch. I just didn't know how to go out and get it. And I was like, so I ended up starting my career learning to sell to people, but I was selling, some things that you shouldn't be selling. And I kind of got started there, and then everything kind of came crashing down, as you could imagine, because nobody gets away with that for long. And I was like, wow. My parents gave me money for a lawyer, and then what happened was I needed a way to pay them back, and that's when e-commerce came into my life, and I translated on how to sell, me knowing how to sell, into the written word, and then selling physical products, and then that's where my come up came, and that's where I just exploded. I just took kind of my monopoly mindset where I wanted to just control everything, and just took it to this marketplace. But again, I don't really mind. I really don't mind working 18-hour days. It's what gets me going. I love it because during that 18 hours, I'll probably work like 12 hours, and I'll just do the other few hours playing games, talking to Tanner, a bunch of different things. But no matter what, it's all centralized.
I work like 2 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah, and eat Chipotle and work out the other hours that you're awake.
It depends though. I'll have like 2 hours every day for every single day, and then if I need to for like a week from filming a course or something, it'll be like 5 or 6 for a week or so. But I get burnt out quick with the length. I can do consistency forever. I can't do like, okay, you need to work 12 hours today. My brain's done after 4.
Okay, interesting. See, I'll dedicate like straight up energy weeks. I'll call them energy weeks, and I'll tell everybody to just leave me alone, because I'll sleep for like 4 or 5 hours. I'll have my Alexa in my room, in my bathroom, and in my living room, and I'll have them all go off at the same time, so it scares the ever living hell out of me. And when I get scared, like, you know, when like you're ready to just just move, all this energy just rushes, and I get up. I'm like, I can't fall back asleep, and I do that purposely, so I get myself up, but I can only do that for like 4 or 5 days straight. And today I'm on my 3rd day, but stuff gets done. Like,
you're crazy.
Nobody would ever imagine. But you're right.
I filmed the videos when you came down here. We did it for like an hour. I'm like, all right, can we play like Cards Against Humanity now?
Yeah. That was fun.
Max.
Oh yeah. All right. So one more question, and then I guess we'll go ahead and end this live stream.
I'll give some advice at the end, because everyone loves hearing me say the same thing.
And you just love giving advice, don't you, Tanner?
I don't.
You love this mindset stuff, huh?
It's the fluff. I didn't put any of it in the course, you know.
Yep. Yeah. Well, good, because we can just inspire people without having to make them pay for it. All right. I'll let Tanner go ahead. You can pick the next question. Next and final question.
What can I do if my product price is $10? I paid $5, but the CPC and Facebook ads is $5. That's for you.
Oh, all right. What can I do if my product price is $10? I paid $5 with CPC and Facebook ads is $5. You broke even. You acquired a customer. If you're spending $10, making $10, you do not lose. You lose when you don't follow up with your sale. Okay, and this is the easiest. If you tell me right now, Dan, you're like, I can get you $1 million. Just give me $1 million, but I'll also give you 10,000 new customers. You're getting $1 million from me. Okay, because I'd rather break even and get 10,000 customers so I can go and keep remarketing to them. And that's kind of a pro on my side compared to the Amazon side, is that they can't do that. They can't follow up with their customer. Well, kind of keep sending more products to their customers via email and whatnot. You guys can, I can. And that's why Shopify is in a way scalable, but you have to get there. I'm not saying Amazon isn't scalable. I'm just saying Amazon, or with Shopify or e-commerce where it's self-hosted, you have a lot more pull. Okay, so when it comes down to it, you can take your customers and keep offering them new products. I mean, literally day after day after day after day, and keep making them buy. So that's, you know, if you spend $5 and you made $0 and your product is $5 and essentially you're charging $10, you have a winner. Okay, you have a winner. Number one, what you can do is have a post-sale sequence set up in the back, whether that's 7 to 10 emails going out there, providing value, and then pitching to them 3 different times. Or number 2, you have an immediate post-sale funnel or an immediate sales funnel. It doesn't need to be post-sales. You could just go ahead and that 10 goes to like another $15 product, okay? So kind of keep that in mind.
You're getting a couple of the same questions. Everyone wants you to answer Boris's.
Yeah, all right. So I'll go ahead and answer Boris. Dan, would you recommend flexing FB audiences like this? Example, dogs with FB buyers, top spender shoppers, engaged shoppers, credit card users. I would, because I can test it. Okay, I don't like the behaviors. Okay, now behaviors, and that's where you're finding these. So start off with your interests. Now here's the thing. Okay, and I don't want to give away so much because I can go on for hours about this. You have 3 different things you can target inside of Facebook. Okay, understand this right now. You have content driven, you have subscription driven, and then you have people. So let's talk about people. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Steve Jobs. People, okay? People is who you can target. They're the worst thing you can target. They're used for engagements. Number 2, content. New York Times, blogs, forums, etc. Those you can go out and target. Those people will never buy a damn thing from you. Understand that right now. Those people don't care about buying. They follow these content-driven networks because they want what? They want content. Now, if you go and target Netflix, you go and target Proactive, if you have some type of skincare, you target Netflix, you target whatever it is, subscription-based models, brands like Babies R Us, right? That's where the money is. People are in those brands buying. They're not going to Wall Street Journal looking for baby products, okay? They're not following Michael Jordan for baby products. They don't care. Okay, so if you want to go out there and actually target people with money, go and target brands, products, subscription services. You know, again, that's pretty much all you really have: brand, subscription, product, services. That's literally what you would do. I'm handing you this formula. So, so let me just see over here. Who asked this question? Boris, great question. But the only thing I could tell you, would I do it? I don't like behaviors, okay? So top spenders, shoppers, mothers between the ages of 0 and 12 months old, newborn mothers, kindergarten mothers, whatever it is. I don't like behavioral-based targeting as of, okay, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I don't use it often. I only try it when I'm scaling, okay? When I scale on a manual bid, right? So this is getting a little bit more advanced than where I would like it to go.
Yeah. All right, you want me to give them some advice for the end?
I do, and you can end it off.
Saying they don't know where to start, they don't know what to do. So, guys, all of these things I teach, Dan teaches, other people teaches, they all work. All you got to do is find someone who you want to have a life like theirs or is doing something you want to do. Figure out what they're doing. Copy exactly what they're doing. Put your own little twist on it, and it will work. And if it's not working, it's you. Figure out what you're doing and adjust. So, for example, I saw people doing Amazon. I started it. It wasn't working for me because I didn't know what I was doing. I adjusted, took a couple months, adjusted again, adjusted, and it started working. These things work. It's not a question of, oh, does Amazon selling work? Does drop shipping work? Does affiliate marketing? They all work. Figure out which one would fit best for your lifestyle, what you want to do, and maybe what you would enjoy the most. And go copy someone, mimic them almost to a T of what they're doing, and put your own little spin on it.
Exactly. Dude, you hit the nail on the head. And, you know, just one more thing, and I promise it's the last thing. FBA versus drop shipping, okay? I have two answers to this. First thing is first. I don't care whether you want to do one or the other. What I'm going to tell you is it's very person dependent. When I came into it, I was set on drop shipping and making it work. When Tanner came into it, he learned about drop shipping, learned about Amazon, and he decided to go with Amazon. So also, Kurtis, when you came into it, did you know about drop shipping or did you just first learn about Amazon?
I pretty much first learned about, I didn't know anything about literally anything. Like I first went into social media marketing and then I found Tanner and I was like, whoa, this sounds way better. So the first thing that I pretty much knew was Amazon and I loved the way it sounded. So I went for it.
There we go. So again, I was dropshipping. I learned about dropshipping the first time I came in. Kurtis learned about Amazon. Tanner learned about both and made an informed decision. So when it comes down to it, there's no right or wrong answer. It really depends on what you want to do. Each one is a business. Understand that. Each one is a business. No matter what you're doing, you need to put the time, effort, and you need to have capital to start off with as well. So again, I won't ever tell you one direction is better than the other because it's just not true. I know millionaires inside the FBA, ecosystem, and I also know millionaires inside of the drop shipping ecosystem. So it really depends. There's literally 1,000 ways to skin a chicken. So again, I kind of just want to leave it off right there. If you guys want to add anything onto that, be my guest. But essentially, before anybody adds onto this, if you guys want to, right now, if you enjoyed this live stream and you want more of these, can you just please shoot a like, give it a thumbs up on this video. If you're on your phone, it's very easy to do that as well. Just go and look right under it and see where it says thumbs up. Just click that thumbs up, and that would be awesome. All right.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
I have one tip that I actually, for anyone doing product research, I just want to say real quick. I know we're wrapping this up, but if somebody's looking at products, right, and you put in criteria in Jungle Scout and the sales are awesome, the reviews are there, just because that guy at the top of the listing is selling, 1,000 units a month, doesn't mean if you go and use that same exact product that you will sell 1,000 units a month. When you're looking at your product and when you find one, look at the listings, but make sure when you do pick a product that you add value to yours so you are better than the guy selling #1 on that keyword. So if that's one thing that I want people searching when they're searching for a product to do is look at the listings, look to see if their English is written well, like pictures, everything, bundle it, give more value. Don't just copy a listing because that guy is selling a crazy amount of sales. It won't work that way. So add value to the product that you go into.
I like it. There we go.
Yeah, that is. We should just open up with that. That was probably one of the best things I've heard is find something and make it better. That is literally marketing 101. You find something that's there and you just make it better. You take it to a new level. I mean, we should open up with that. that was really good. So yeah, I mean, again, everybody, thank you so much for coming out here today. Curtis, thanks a bunch. Tanner as well. You guys are freaking awesome, and everybody else. There's about 100 of you. There's been tons of people just coming in and out. But again, I'm going to end this off with shoot a like on this video again if you want more of these similar type of videos. And yeah, I just want to leave it off here. Thanks a bunch for everybody coming and watching. And we will be live streaming on a more consistent schedule, and we'll let you know what that schedule is next week. And we'll have more people like Kurtis on here as well. Even, perhaps even have Kurtis back here yet again. But again, everybody, thanks so much. Thanks, Kurtis. Thanks, Tanner. And I'll see you all pretty soon.
See you guys.
Thank you.